Captain America bonus week. That's right. We were going to skip these TV movies from 1979, but the people spoke and we listen to the people. We have so few people that if they speak, we're going to listen to them. We're going to pay attention. And thanks for speaking up, you know. And we did it. We watched these movies. I watched them the last 2 days. Captain America and Captain America 2 Death Too Soon. Is that what this is called?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I'm Daniel Ehrenberg, and over there's Logan Adair. How's it going, Logan?
it's going great. The people
Yeah.
made the choice. It's up to the people to choose as they see fit. I don't know the rest.
Fit,
Fit
fit,
it. I know
fit,
that
bit,
part.
choosing the People's Choice Awards. It's the Choice Awards for the people. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Henry.
Honestly,
Excuse me.
every day of our life.
Great, 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 great. Okay. Let's get into it right away. This first one. So apparently these were supposed to lead into a TV show. That was the idea. Like we'll do a couple movies and then maybe people want to watch a TV show of this. So they aired on CBS in 1979, and it didn't really turn into a TV show. And apparently it wasn't really the fault of the ratings. Like they did kind of okay, but CBS at this point was inundated with superhero. They were all in on superheroes, and they got sort of gun shy about it. They're like, we don't want to be the superhero network, do we? So they canceled a few of them. They had Incredible Hulk, which they kept. That was the biggest hit of all of them, the one with Lou Ferrigno.
Hmm.
And they had a live action Spider Man. They had a live action Wonder Woman, the one with Linda Carter, and which people remember very fondly, but only ran 3 seasons. And then there's they had this. All right. So eventually they were just like, fucking, let's just keep Hulk and cancel the rest. And somewhere Stanley
What a
was like,
crazy decision. Now
no.
somebody would love to have be like the superhero channel.
Back then, so many people were watching TV, man. They could get ratings with cheap bullshit. All right. Now, if something hits on TV, it'll be on forever
Yeah.
because nothing hits on TV anymore.
Yeah. A few
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I know, but like that, if something's a big hit now, you'll never see the end of it.
Yeah. You're right. Well, that's not
Yeah.
totally true. You will someday.
No, you won't. People
Like the
say
Big Bang
that
Theory was like the last big example, and that ended.
bullshit. Young Sheldon right after that. And now you got George and Mandy's marriage or whatever.
First marriage. They spoil
Yeah.
it. You know
Yeah.
they're gonna
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
divorce.
So bullshit. Big
I
Bang
thought
Theory
about
is never
watching,
gonna end.
but I don't want to get too attached to that relationship because you know
You
it's
have to go
ending.
back and watch Young Sheldon.
Oh yeah, true.
See the origins
Of who? George?
and Mandy, I guess.
Mandy's on it too?
Yeah, this was a whole spin-off of Young Sheldon.
I figured George was the brother. I didn't know Mandy was on Young
They
Sheldon also.
started dating on Young Sheldon, and they get married on this show.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. So you're wrong. If something's a hit now, it literally never ends.
We'll see. Life isn't over. To say it
That's
never
true.
ends is a prediction.
It'll never end until the apocalypse, which it might be soon. I hope so.
Yeah, I sort of hope so too.
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm so out of here. I'm so
Yeah.
fucking done. Oh man.
All right, Captain America. This aired January 19th, 1979.
Okay. How
On
old
the
were you?
CBS network. I was but a twinkle in my daddy's eye.
Okay.
Um, that means not born.
Right.
Uh, my sister wasn't even born actually. So my parents were single. No, they weren't single. They were married at this point, but they were just like out on their own, fucking going places.
That's probably the best part of marriage
Yeah,
before you have the kids.
I recently asked. I was in New York last week, and I asked my mom was saying like we were married for like 7 years before we had Emily, my sister. And I was like, were those 7 years the best 7 years of your life? And I could tell she didn't want to say yes, but the answer was yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like if I were to imagine like the happiest I could be, that'd probably be it.
Yeah.
Like newly married but without kids yet. That'd be
Right.
awesome.
Amazing. I mean, it's my whole life, kind of.
Yeah.
But it still sucks. So, um, all right. So anyway, this aired opposite brand new episodes of Different Strokes and the Rockford Files.
Okay.
Yeah,
You ever
yeah,
watch those?
yeah. I watched both of them. They're pretty good.
Okay.
In fact, I looked at the what each episode was about, and I sort of recognized the Different Strokes one. I was like, I've seen
Wow. You're not able to
that.
tell if it's good or not, just that you've seen it.
No, it's a good one. They're all the same.
All the
Um,
same.
yeah, they're pretty much all the same.
Wow, consistency.
Yeah. But this movie was oh, do you want to do the 1979 list before we go any
Yeah, we knew
further?
1979.
All right, all right. We're gonna do
A
a
great year.
1979 list. What I should have done is done a TV list because this is a TV thing. But we made it. This is our movie list, top 10 movies of
Oh, true.
1979.
That's a good point.
All right. I have some honorable mentions here.
Okay.
Nosferatu the Vampire by Werner Herzog, much better than
Vampire.
Nosferatu. The Vampire, yeah. The Muppet Movie, The Jerk, and Justice for All. That's fine. What
Wow.
do you got?
Oh, not my best year, obviously. I was minus 19 years old. So, but I have seen a few. Number 10, I'll go Steven Spielberg's 1941. Nine, and Justice for All.
Wait, you're doing your this is your list. All right. I was
Yeah.
asking you for honorable mentions, but go ahead. So
Oh, I mean, I didn't really
number
have many.
what you got?
My
Number
number 10 is
10,
1941. I mean,
1941.
yeah,
Eight, nine is And Justice for All.
that's
All
right.
right, go ahead.
Eight, Breaking Away. Seven,
All right.
Escape from Alcatraz. Six, Hardcore. Watch that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Five, The Muppet Movie. Thought you'd have that higher. Four, Kramer versus Kramer. Three, Apocalypse Now. I've only seen the Redux, but I'll just pretend that's the normal version right there. Two, Alien. And one of the best movies I've ever seen. You might be surprised number one's not Alien. It's All That Jazz. I watched that movie.
All That Jazz. Listen to this guy.
Yeah, that movie's awesome.
It's good.
I loved it.
I'm surprised. A lot of your top 10 are like just outside of my top 10.
Yeah.
Um, all right, but here's my top 10. Number 10, Real Life by Albert Brooks. Number 9, The Warriors. Number 8, The Onion Field. Number 7, Wise Blood. Number 6, Escape from Alcatraz. Number 5, Breaking Away. Number 4, Over the Edge.
Hmm.
Number 3, Alien. Number 2, Manhattan. And number 1, Apocalypse Now.
Where's All That Jazz? Kramer versus Kramer.
I've got Kramer versus Kramer over here at number 19, and I've got All That Jazz at number 23.
Oh, yeah, I saw you gave that a four. I don't like that.
Sorry.
All right.
All right. Let's do it. So this Captain America shit's directed by Rod Holcomb, who goes on to be a pretty well respected TV director. Most famously directed the pilot episode of ER.
Wow. Very
Yeah,
cool.
and came back to do the finale of that show as well.
Wow.
Um,
A
and this
Rod
was
bookend.
yep, yep, and written by Don Ingalls. Don Ingalls was like writing buddies with Gene Roddenberry earlier in their career, but then Roddenberry went on to have like the much bigger career, created Star Trek and shit. Ingalls wrote like a couple episodes of Star Trek, but he was mostly kind of a journeyman. His only movie credit we actually covered on the podcast, Airport 1975.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, yeah, which was the one with Charlton Heston, I believe. Um, let's get into it. What this Captain? So things you know about Captain America are like he was in World War II in the 1940s, and he was injected with super soldier serum that turned him from a little shrimpy guy into a big guy.
His name's Steve
And
Rogers.
yeah, he fought in the military. He got felled by the Red Skull or Baron Zemo or something, and then he was cryogenically
He's very
frozen.
brave.
Yeah, he woke up years later, a man at a time. He joined the Avengers. Boom. All right, those are the things we know. Now, what if I told you, forget everything you know about Captain America?
Yeah. Well, how
All
much
right.
do people know at this time?
He was a character that had been around since the 1940s.
But
So
only
I
nerds really knew him. You could get away with a lot back then.
they made film serials about him in the during World War II.
Fair.
This isn't even the first live action adaptation of Captain America.
We have to do more next week.
Nerds, do you want us to cover the film serials next? No, we're not doing that.
Oh.
So it's you're right on one level. Like you can get away with a lot, but I don't understand when you have all those years of comic books that you could adapt, why you just like invent a bunch of shit whole cloth. Wouldn't it
Yeah,
be easier to go do some of this shit that had been done already?
you think
Um,
so?
but anyway, so we got Steve Rogers in this one. That they got that right. That's his name.
Right.
And he's already a big burly guy.
Mm-hmm. He really is.
He's
Reb
I,
Brown.
I think they Reb Brown. I don't like his first name being Reb. That brings to mind the Confederacy,
What's that short for?
rebel. And
Is that really? His name's Rebel
yeah,
Brown?
I think so. Well, no, what I actually read that's what I thought at first, and that annoyed me because Captain America, he's a Union
His name's
man.
Robert. Robert
All
Edward
right.
Brown.
Yeah.
Reb,
See,
R-E-B.
exactly. Robert
Whoa.
Edward Brown. He just shortened his initials to Reb, became Reb Brown. So his real name is actually Robert Edward Brown Brown.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
he brown though not one of the colors of the US flag.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm pretty
There's
sure you're
white
wrong about that. USA flag.
and blue.
Oh, did you say red?
No, but that's the other one. That's the other one.
White, blue, and red.
Yeah.
I thought it was white, brown, and red.
No.
Holy shit, Daniel.
Yeah.
By the
you
way,
must
Reb Brown, I
what?
saw he was in another 1979 film that I just mentioned. Hardcore. He's at one of like the porn places that
Wow.
he goes to visit. Reb
He
Brown like
probably
kicks him
plays
out.
a he probably
Like a
plays a porn
bouncer.
star. Oh, he's
No,
a
he's like
bouncer.
he like owns the place and he kicks
He's
him out.
I gotta tell you, I watching this Captain America movie, I was like, this dude looks like he did gay porn.
Wow, why gay porn?
I don't know. He's just like this big, burly, effeminate kind of guy, and it struck me as odd that he'd be Captain America. He's also like, I think they established in the movie that he had been in the military, but we don't really talk about it a lot. And he's not into military shit. Like he's traveling the country as an artist. He's a traveling artist with no real job. And even when like someone brings up the idea of like maybe how about having some responsibility with your life? You know, something that Steve Rogers I would think is all about. He's like, I don't want a job. I don't want to wake up and have to do something. I just want to wake up and live. And I
Yeah,
was like,
he's like a
I
hippie.
can relate to this Captain America, but it doesn't really strike me as very similar to the character.
No, I didn't think so either. The only time they mentioned the war is like at the beginning. He's like on his way back into town from like the war or something. That's
Yeah,
really it. You don't
I
really
think his
touch on it.
father was a World War II guy too,
Yeah, interesting stuff
who
about
they
his dad.
called Captain America, but as an insult.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, you're Mr. Captain America over there or whatever.
Yeah.
And also he like created the shield. He is the inventor of the shield. Is that what happened?
I don't think the shield really has much significance in this.
No.
No, I mean it didn't look vibranium to me. It looked
They never
fucking
say that.
plastic.
But then you can throw it and it comes back to you. And it looks flimsy, but it's not. Clearly there's some magical powers
I
going
know,
on.
but in the second one, he throws it and it comes back and hits the guy in the back of the head and it makes the sound effect like dong.
It was awesome, yeah. And bullets shoot it and it ricochets off of you.
Yeah, I guess so. All the bullets in this movie sound like Looney Tunes bullets. Yosemite Sam. Pew pew
Yeah,
pew pew.
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's fun. I like the sound effects a lot, actually. one of the MVPs of these films is the guy who did the score. I didn't look up who did it because
Mm.
I have a life and I can't be bothered. But
It's not that hard.
he I felt like he had just bought a Moog synthesizer. All right, because
Ronald Brown.
did you notice that is
Oh wait,
wait, is
never
that
mind.
Red Brown?
No wait, never mind. I was looking at the wrong thing.
Wait, so did you notice that throughout the score you're constantly hearing pew boo
Maybe I didn't
boo
like the music.
boo boo? It was just a guy messing around with a synthesizer. I really liked it.
No, wasn't
I mean, I had to
wasn't
latch
into it.
on to the things I was interested in because,
I like
I
the
mean,
camera.
spoilers, these movies are garbage. The camera,
Yeah, that's Ronald W. Brown, cinematographer. He was doing a lot of cool camera shit.
I
Like we
mean,
would start like zoomed in on something, and then you couldn't tell we were zoomed in because you're just looking at something. And you're like, oh, that's a normal shot, and then he like zooms out and he'll go like through two car windows, and then you're like on the other side of the car, and you're like, oh, that's cool shit. He would do that a
I
lot.
guess
There were like
so.
8, 9 instances of
Is
that.
he the same guy in the second one, though?
I'm not sure.
Because there was some weird shit going on with the cameras in the second one. There's this really long tracking shot, but it looked like they were on like a wheelchair or something because like the cameras were at all the characters' knees. We were just like
Yeah,
looking up at them.
I thought the cameras in both the movies were pretty cool. One of the standouts. I couldn't tell they were TV movies most of the time. The second one,
No,
I mean, sometimes for sure, but the second movie we were getting a lot of like helicopter shots of like Captain America
they
flying
had a
through. It
little
was
bit of a bigger budget for the second one. I wasn't able to find out what it was, but the first one was $150,000. Red Brown claims the first one they had 1 million and the second one they had 3 million. I don't buy that.
hmm.
According to Wikipedia, the first one they had 150,000. So I assume for the second one they probably had like 300,000 or so.
Yeah, I don't know where he got those numbers from, but I guess we start with the first one, right?
I thought that's what we'd been talking
Oh
about.
well, I jumped into the second one, but yeah, and then what happened? Do we none of the same characters are back?
None of the characters. We don't have the only character from the Captain America comics in this entire fucking thing is Steve Rogers. If you're here looking for Red Skull or Bucky or Peggy Carter or Sharon Carter, you're shit out of luck, man.
Yeah, you are. But he does have like a new friend who's in both the movies, played by Lynn Berman. He plays Dr. Simon Mills.
This was my guy.
This is your guy?
This is my guy. He's the MVP of both these movies. Okay.
Okay.
Some of the weirdest line readings I've ever heard in anything. And I was loving every second of it. Last night, I was losing my mind, annoying everybody, annoying my girlfriend. I kept quoting the same two lines from, they're not said at the same time, but I was connecting them because they were my two favorite line readings.
Yeah,
In the first movie, he's telling him about his new motorcycle,
that was cool.
you know. Yeah, and he goes, "It's whisper quiet, and I ain't whistling Dixie."
I thought he said it does whistle Dixie. The motorcycle whistles Dixie for you. That was like
Listen,
one of its features.
maybe I don't care. I'm just going with what I'm remembering. All right. So that is going to become an all-timer line for me. Like for me, that's up there with What's Drift, with
No way.
yeah,
What's
with
true?
Slap at the BS.
That's
Listen,
not even a franchise film.
I know, but these are obviously the great lines in film history. You know, if the AFI list
I
for
see
me
dead
of
people.
yeah, sure. And but no, if I may again, it's whisper quiet, and I ain't whistling Dixie.
You sound like the Finding Francis guy, the old Bill Gates impersonator.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
sound like that
Well,
guy.
maybe that's what this guy sounded
That was
like.
very scary to me. I loved that motorcycle. That was very
Like
cool.
for honestly, For me, I could do that for 2 hours, and that would be this whole podcast. Like people
I
could
don't
tune
know if
into the
anyone would
Captain
like that.
America TV movie podcast, and it would just be me saying, "It's whisper quiet, and I ain't whistling Dixie."
All right. If you guys want that, then like if we have a slow week, I can just edit together like that a bunch of times.
No, 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 no. It'd be more. I'll if you want that, I'll just sit here for 2 hours and do that because I can.
You wouldn't laugh, start laughing at a certain point, not be able to get it
No,
out.
and I won't. I will never lose interest in it either.
Well, you'll be here by yourself because I don't think I'd be here. I'd like start record and then I'd go do something else.
that, that's a deal. That's a
Okay.
deal.
Why doesn't MCU Captain America have a motorcycle?
I don't. He could because I'll tell you what. Um, he did for a little while in the comics in the 70s. I couldn't figure out which came first. All the Wikipedia articles are saying like they got that from this movie,
Interesting.
but I just got through reading all those Marvel comics. Like I'm up to 1980 right now in my Marvel read through,
Damn.
and I'm pretty sure he had that motorcycle around like 1975, 1976, that
Okay.
period. And that's before this.
Yeah.
So I think the Wikipedia articles are wrong.
Well, they can change it, right? That's the thing
I
about
mean, I,
Wikipedia.
I suppose I could change it, but I won't.
Right, right. But why that doesn't excuse why the MCU doesn't have it. It's so cool.
Um,
I really like the motorcycle. Has a lot of cool
does he not
abilities.
drive a motorcycle ever in those movies?
I kind of like maybe for a second. I don't remember it
Mm,
though.
I don't either. I mean, but look, it's not really an essential part of the character. I mean, this is ephemera. These movies were not available for a long time. I remember this being a hot item on the bootleg circuit in the pre-streaming days. You go to
No.
like a comic book convention, you'd see like, oh, they got the one with the motorcycle helmet.
Well, I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to text Ross and be like, I thought maybe you'd have they were already on Ross Flicks, but they're not, and they're
No,
not anywhere else.
I
So,
found the first one on Prime,
oh, well, I didn't go and check on there.
but I was lucky. By the time the second one I saw it was on Ross Flick, so I was like, oh, sweet.
Yeah, I thought maybe you would text him about it, and then I realized they were not on there, and I was like, oh shit, I got to find them somehow. But it was really cool. There was like a point where he threw it up on a bridge, and it like landed up on the bridge, and it sprouts like parachute things, and it goes silent. There's like a silent mode. I'm
Oh
way into
yeah,
the motorcycle.
it's whisper quiet.
Yeah, it is. It is, and he's not whistling Dixie. And I like how it shoots out of the back of the van. He like drives around a van, but then he can park the van
Yeah,
and shoot the
yeah, he
motorcycle out
has
of the
like
van.
a converter van or whatever, conversion van. I don't remember what they call
I
it.
thought it was
He's
cool.
it's sort of like Nomad Land.
He
Um,
is. He should hang out
and
with them.
yeah, I wonder if he's shitting in there. And
Yeah.
but yeah, he's got a little ramp up out the back. He comes out with the motorcycle. I thought he was gonna fuck up that van forever during the oil spill sequence, but he
Yeah.
managed to survive that.
Yeah.
They're dropping oil on the road. I like the part later on where they cut to the bad guys, and one of the bad guys is like, "Hey, there's this guy Steve Rogers we might have to watch out for," and the bad guys is like, "Wait, isn't that guy you're supposed to kill with that oil spill? What happened there?"
Yeah.
And it's like, I guess it didn't work. He never checked. He was just sort of like, I assume the oil worked, like gangbusters.
That's what villains do, though. They like assume their plan works, but it doesn't. I like that this wasn't like all the movies are sort of different in a way. Like the 91 has Red Skull, like the other ones, but they're all different in their own way. I never knew where this was going, or like they were setting up the thing where they were like doing the oil spill, and I was like, whoa, they're like setting up Captain America, but he's not
Yeah.
Captain America yet. I was like sort of on edge throughout the first
It
30 minutes of the
goes
movie.
nowhere though. Like the third one, I mean the third one. There's only two. The second one, at least like he's Captain America already. We could get right into
I
it.
agree.
So like we can do weird shit. Like I really like the opening sequence where he like saves that old lady's social security check or
I
whatever.
like that. Yeah.
But like in this one, he's literally like he does not have the fucking shield until like an hour and 20 minutes in, and it's an hour and 38 minutes. Like
No.
he's barely Captain America in this fucking thing.
You're totally right. I knew you were going to complain about that because I thought that was the thing you said in the '90s movie, and this one it's like double the length. It is sort
Yeah.
of crazy in this one, but I sort of liked it for like 20 minutes, and then I mean I was like, whoa, this is going on a bit. But I mean, I think this is probably the worst Captain America one. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, but guy in the cast here I'm looking at, his name is Steve Forrest.
Dude, I noticed this. I know literally when this came up on the screen, I turned to Dallas. I was like, "Are they sure it's not Stephen Orth?"
This is a thing I'll never understand, but it's your thing.
It's not. It's a thing. Listen,
I never
in
got it.
the original Scream movie, they say that Casey Becker's boyfriend was Steve Forrest.
That's the one I
Okay,
don't get. I know Stephen Orth. That's what I know
they
about.
say that in the second one.
Okay,
In the second one, when they're like doing the recap, like because we got a copycat.
copycat.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, you know, her boyfriend Stephen Orth. All right, but I think so
Wow.
that I think it was misheard in the first movie, and they used the mishearing because
Yeah.
it sounds like she says Stephen Orth in the first movie, but she doesn't. She says
Steve
Steve
Forrest.
Forrest. All right, and here's how I know that for real
Yeah.
because I used to own. I mean, I probably still do somewhere the original shooting script of Scream
Wow.
by Kevin Williamson, and it says Steve Forrest.
All right, I'm not gonna argue that then. I've just never caught it. Every time I watch it, I'm like, where's Forrest at? And I never hear it.
You gotta listen.
But I know it's a thing because of you. So when I
Yeah.
saw that, I was like, oh shit. That was cool. But and another thing is that he draws the outfit for Captain America,
Yeah.
and then they
That's
like
another thing
create
from
it
the
for him.
comics. He's like sort of he's got some artistic talent, Captain America.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. He is pretty good. And that's the other thing in the second movie. The old woman, he's like painting. He's like a what do they call it? You might know that more. Where like they go to the beach and they just paint people.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just like a busker on the Venice Beach boardwalk.
Yeah, seems fun.
A, a character.
I don't think he does that.
Oh,
Caricature.
caricaturist.
I
Yeah.
don't think he's like that.
No,
He's
I
more of
guess
like a
not.
realist. Uh, I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, but I like that. He is a pretty good artist.
What's your take on cubism?
I don't know that one.
No. What about impressionism?
Not a fan. What's the
Like
one?
Monet or Manet?
Monet. I don't know. What's the one where they do it with little dots?
Pointillism.
That's crazy. First time I saw that, I was so impressed by that. Somebody could really do
Yeah.
that.
Here's something about me that I don't like to advertise. I have no interest in visual art. It just does not affect me. It doesn't move me.
Films? That's not
I'm
visual
in
art.
no. I just mean like drawing, painting, sculpting.
No, I
Like
do a bit.
I appreciate because I could never do it. I have no talent for that. So like I appreciate it on that level. Like it's amazing that someone can do that. But
Hmm.
like I don't know, like I just I try. Like I'll go to an art museum and I'll stand there and like I'll try to be like, what is this affecting on some level? I
Yeah.
just don't care, man.
It probably sounds dumb because this was a recent movie, but I think The Fablemans sort of changed my mind at the end of that movie with David Lynch. Was it John Ford? I forget who he played at the end of that movie. But he's like, is the horizon at the bottom or the top? Like it I've that sort of changed my mind. Like everything in paintings is deliberate, the same as every other art. And you have to think about that. If the horizon, if it's in the middle, then that's a choice. But if it's on the top, that's a choice. And if it's on the bottom, then that's a choice.
Right. But I'm like, I need
It's made me look at things
someone to
differently.
to get me to feel emotionally moved. I need to be told a story. And like art nerds, because I grew up with this. My sister is like she paints and draws and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And so like so she or like art nerds in general would tell me a painting does tell a story. You just have to let it speak to you. I don't know how.
That's crazy
Yeah.
because, of course, it does. I've never heard you admit to like sounding so naive before.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
little
No,
bit.
it's probably the dumbest thing about myself, and I'm aware that it's dumb.
Yeah, good for you. It was a nice moment there, I think.
Okay.
I was very aware. Um, what else happens in this movie? We
uh,
like. Is this where we put we're like a guy's about to die? We the
oh yeah,
gas.
he's got a dead man's something at trigger. So it's like if he dies, the gas gets released, so they
So we
can't
save
let the
him.
bad guy die.
Yeah, we save the bad guy's life at the end.
Also, another thing I like about this movie is the super soldier serum has a fun acronym.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
I
they
forget.
call it the flag serum.
That's
All
right.
right. And that stands for full latent ability gain.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I was pretty into that flag. It reminded me, isn't that DC though? Flag, that
Jack
guy,
Flag.
Jack. Did you say
I
Jack?
don't know. Yeah, I think so.
I thought he was like in the Suicide Squad. I don't remember his name. I don't think it was Jack though.
Flag
But
Smasher.
I
That
don't
a
know.
guy?
He was play. I forget who was played by. But and then at the end, he like shows the guy like, "Hey, look at my costume. I'm gonna stand here and pose for you." I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. We were like, thanks.
Did it bother you that he was strong the whole movie? Didn't start out
Yeah,
weak and
of
then
course.
yeah, yeah. Um, I don't have much to say about it.
No, we can move on. This would be a short episode.
Okay,
I mean, this is the one I hated it. The MVP is Whisper Quiet, that guy.
I'll agree.
And the LVP, maybe Reb Brown.
No way. I thought it was cool, and he wasn't like he was like a big guy, but he was never like he was doing a good performance. He never seemed like aggressive or
No,
mean.
he came across very like a very sensitive burly man. That's why he came across like a gay porn star to me.
I thought he came across as Captain America.
Oh, did you recognize the fucking girl?
Maybe.
The main girl? This was mind blowing. There are like two ladies in this. One of them's like a doctor, and one of them's that like the cuter younger one.
The
But
blonde.
yeah, they're both blonde.
Oh
But
shit.
the doctor one was the girl we just covered in Piranha.
No.
Yeah, Heather Menzies, who we liked.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Well, you're right. Dr. Wendy Day.
yeah. And
I
she's
missed
played
that.
by a different character in the second. I mean, the characters in the second one, she's played by a different actress.
Honestly, I might go her for the MVP in this movie. I remember really liking her.
Oh,
I feel bad I
now
didn't
you are,
mention that.
huh?
No, I remember liking her and noticing the drop off in the second movie
Okay.
for
All right.
her for that character at least.
Fair enough.
But I'll go 2 stars. I don't want to go one for any of these movies.
One.
No. But
I'll go two
moving
for the
on.
next one, I guess. All right. Let's move on. There's Captain America 2, Death Too Soon.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is the one I knew better. Like people remember this one more fondly.
That's a cool title.
Yeah, it's got a cool title. I remember Conan O'Brien used to show clips from it on his old show as like a joke. Um,
Beautiful poster. Both of these do actually.
okay.
Right? They're
Uh,
really cool.
I guess so. This one's got a whole different creative team. It directed by Ivan Nagy, who was just sort of like a dude, but I looked him up and he was dating Heidi Fleiss around this time.
Who's that?
She was the Hollywood madam. She like got in trouble. She was like the number one pimp in LA.
That's cool.
All right.
I didn't
And
know there were
this dude
women
was dating
pimps.
her. Well, she was the big one, Heidi
Wow.
Fleiss.
Damn.
Um, and then it was written by Wilton Schiller, who I don't know is a guy. This
And
aired.
Patricia Payne, it says.
Oh, I didn't notice that
Yeah.
lady.
You're not giving her her due.
Well, she deserves her due.
She does.
All right, her due date when I get her pregnant.
What?
I don't know.
She was previously married to Wilton Schiller, it says on
Oh
her
wow.
IMDb
Okay,
description.
makes sense.
That's crazy. So
uh
maybe he got her pregnant.
maybe. All right. So this aired actually. They cut it up into two parts. They aired the first
Really?
hour on November 23rd, which is a Friday, like the previous
It's
one.
Friday. That's what they were singing at that
Great,
time.
great. Yep. Everybody remembers how big Rebecca Black was in 1979. And then the conclusion was aired on the 24th, which was a Saturday, and that
Where was the
um
cliffhanger at, I wonder?
I don't know, but it led into Salem's Lot. They
Oh shit.
Salem's Lot Part Two premiered like right after Captain America Two Part Two. Um,
That's scary.
and also this aired opposite a new episode of Chips. So
You ever watch the film with
no,
Dax Shepard and
no,
whoever else was in it?
Michael Pena.
Like, oh yeah, Michael Pena.
Hmm.
I feel like that might be the worst movie of the 2000s if I watched that.
Really?
No, I haven't seen it.
Wow.
I haven't seen it. Just if I were to watch it and go out on a limb, I feel like that might be really bad.
Huh.
The trailers were awful. I remember.
Let's do a commentary track on Chips.
First time watch.
Yeah,
Commentary?
first time watch commentary.
That'd be
track.
really fun. I think we should do more of that. We've never done that before.
Yeah, that would be fun. Hey, listeners, do you want to hear that? We listen to our listeners, as you know, from
Yeah.
the existence of this podcast.
From this
So
episode. Yeah.
yeah. So let us know that. I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be Chips, but is that something you'd be interested in? Us doing a commentary track on something we've never seen before.
I think we talked about it with the Chris Evans Ana de Armas film from a couple
What's
years
that?
ago, where they climbed the Exorcist stairs. Well, you don't remember that what that movie was called?
What?
At Georgetown, there's like a scene where they climb the Exorcist. Keep going. I'll look up Chris Evans IMDb.
I mean, what is it? The Gray Man?
No, close.
Something like that, right? They're all the same.
Something like Ghosted. We thought we were talking about like, doing Ghosted
Right. We
for
can
a
do
second.
that.
Yeah, but that disappeared. I don't know where that is.
Yeah, it's almost like we as a people ghosted that film.
We really did.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. It has
Was
30
that a good
reviews
joke?
on Letterboxd. I thought that was a great joke, Daniel.
Thank
Your
you,
best so
Logan.
far of your whole life.
All right. My whole life? Holy
No,
shit.
I'm just kidding.
Let's talk about Death Too Soon, huh? He's still Captain America. He's got the suit. Seems like more people know who he is at this point. It's like on the street. Because
Really?
I remember at one time he was on a motorcycle and someone was like, "That's Captain America."
Like he was Steve on the motorcycle?
No.
Oh, they don't know his identity. You mean?
I just mean like Captain America is a famous figure.
Oh,
now.
okay. Yeah, I understand. But
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
But no, he's got a secret identity.
Right.
And he's working on the Venice boardwalk and he helps this old lady. I love that he uses her as bait, first of all.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm too scared to cash my social security checks. And he's like, don't be scared. Why don't you go do it right now? And so she goes, and like within like seconds of walking the street, like she doesn't even have her social security check out or whatever. But like, I guess it's inherently sensed.
I see the mark.
Yeah, by a thug.
Mhm.
All right. So it's like a guy with like a head. He looks like he's from the Warriors,
Mhm.
and he's just like hiding behind her, like walking slow with a knife, and then he attacks her.
Why do you need a knife? That was crazy.
Why wouldn't he need a knife?
To mug an old lady? Why do you need a knife?
That's
Threatening to
it's
beat her up
quicker.
a bunch.
It's quicker with a knife.
I guess, but somebody can actually get hurt.
Who cares? These are thugs, Logan.
Is your goal to actually hurt people or just to scare them, get the money?
I think you don't care at that
You might not
point when
care.
you're
If
stealing
pushed
money
to
from old people.
Thugism, you might not
I
care.
think the reason you steal from old people is because it's like if they die, it's fine. They're gonna die tomorrow anyway.
That happened in one of the Saw movies. One of the girls was put in a trap because she stole from an old woman, and then the old woman was like running to go catch her, and her inhaler was in the purse that was stolen, so she fell down and died. And that's why she was put in a saw trap.
Those movies are hilarious. All right,
Jigsaw, the worst one.
Yeah. Okay. What are we talking about? Oh, right.
Oh, the old woman.
So he attacks the lady. Captain America jumps out like, not on my watch. And
he has a watch. He's making a lot of
yeah.
puns.
Right. He throws his shield, it hits him in the back of the head, goes donk, and he falls down.
The shield looks so silly. It's like completely see-through, and it's totally flimsy. Like in every
Yeah,
shot, it's like bending in, but it
it
works.
it's
It's cool.
see-through and plastic, and when he throws it, it goes so slowly through the air, and it's like the whole rest of the movie stops.
But I love that part.
Everyone just stops to watch it flying through the air.
You're right. There's the part he throws it, and Christopher Lee, he's the bad guy in this movie. Instead of shooting Captain America while he doesn't have the shield, he just watches it fly. Like it's so
Yeah.
stupid. Like while he doesn't have, that's when you shoot him when he doesn't have the
Yeah.
shield. But that's not what
Right. He can't
happens.
defend himself now. Shoot
Yeah,
him.
yeah, but that
That,
doesn't
that
happen.
was that was one of my biggest laughs in the movie was the credit at the beginning. Christopher Lee as Miguel.
Yeah, Miguel. In 1941, he's in 1941 also this year, and he plays like a Japanese soldier,
What
and
is
he's
going
speaking
on?
Japanese in the movie. But I don't know if that was like Spielberg doing a joke or if he just didn't care and he was just like. But that's hilarious. He's one of the greats, Christopher Lee. I mean, obviously.
Is he?
Yeah,
I don't remember anyone.
Saruman,
Yeah, I know.
Count
I don't
Dooku.
remember anyone giving a shit about him until that happened. Like, I mean, you'd hear like those Christopher Lee Draculas are good or whatever, but like, I don't remember that guy getting much talk in film circles
Really?
until that one year. Like, he was Count Dooku and Saruman in the same year. And I mean, does that really age that well? I know people love those Lord of the Rings movies, but like, does anyone go back and like remember Count Dooku as like a great Star Wars villain?
Well, I remember
I'll
him.
I'll take General Grievous myself.
I I like that he I like his death in the Revenge of the Sith,
How does he die?
where Anakin Palpatine is like a prisoner, and Anakin and Obi-Wan show up, and they Anakin like has two lightsabers like this on his throat, and then goes like
Oh
and
yeah,
cuts his head
yeah.
off, and they're like
That's all
we've seen it
right.
roll. It's really cool.
And in Attack of the Clones, he's the one that has that fight with the jumpy Yoda.
He does,
Boop,
and he
boop.
cuts off Anakin's hand. Right, he's the one that does that in that fight
He does.
before they show up. Right, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and he's
Anakin
also
loses a hand too. That's a thing.
yeah. Anakin loses a hand, and then Luke loses a hand. They both lose a hand.
It's like a rite of passage for a Skywalker. I wonder when Rey will lose her
Yeah, she
hand.
took on the name. Now she has to lose her hand.
Yeah.
He's also the in the Wicker Man, the
Oh,
original Wicker
that's
Man.
true.
He's the
That's true. Yeah,
cultist
he's great in
man.
that.
He's in a Bond film. I went through his IMDb yesterday. I think the man with the golden gun.
Yeah, and
So
that one's not very good. I mean,
I don't know.
honestly, like the most interesting thing about it when we covered the podcast was like, oh, Christopher Lee's in it.
Christopher Lee. It's like the one with Shaw.
Shaw?
Shaw's in one of them
Who's
from
Shaw?
Jaws.
Jason Statham?
No, from
Oh,
the guy from
oh,
Jaws.
Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw. Yeah.
Sorry, when I hear Shaw, I think Hobbs and Shaw.
No, I guess like what's his character's name in Jaws?
Um, Quint?
Quint. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about Christopher Lee, though, they talked about this on Blank Check recently. I listened to their 1941 episode. They sort of talked about him. He was like in the British CIA and he like tracked down Nazis, like in real life. That was like what he did before he was an actor.
So he should have played Captain America.
Well, he's British. That probably
guess
would have been
so.
dope. Yeah. But he's a legend to me. Probably a
All
lot of
right.
listeners.
All
Daniel's
right.
just being mean to Christopher Lee for some reason.
I'm
I
not
don't know
trying
what
to
this
be
is.
mean or contrarian. I like Christopher Lee. I just think like there was like a weird turn we all took where it was like that year when he was Count Dooku, everyone all of a sudden was like, oh yeah, that guy.
It's fair. I wasn't around for that though. I just know him after.
Yeah.
So, but did we mention the replay Connie Selica? Do you like her new
Not she's no
doctor?
Menzies.
No Menzies, but I thought she was all right.
She was fine. Yeah, I didn't have too much beef.
No.
Actually, I thought she had better chemistry with the Whisper Quiet guy.
I like that call. That's fair.
Mhm.
And Steve has a cat. Why did
Yeah,
I write down cat?
because he's holding a cat like all
Like a
through
little
this
orange
one
cat?
scene. It's, yeah, yeah, and he's petting it. It's very cute.
Right, right. But the plot of this movie, the bad guy, Christopher Lee, Miguel,
Miguel.
he wants to make everyone age really fast.
I love this as a superhero plot. This is perfect.
For
This
some
is exactly
reason.
what I want from superheroes.
Why though?
Um,
Why did he want that?
it doesn't matter. It's just great. It's nefarious. That's why. Because I think like everyone will die, and then he can like rule over the ashes. But
Wow.
basically, it's like a bomb that when it goes off, it ages everybody at a rate of 38 days per hour.
That's right. Which is,
Yeah.
I did some math. It's the equivalent of 912 days per day, which is the equivalent of 2.5 years per day. So every day you age 2.5 years. That's what that
Huh.
means.
It's interesting.
Crazy, right?
I wonder if
But
I would, maybe I'd like to do that.
really,
Like
wake
near
up
the
in
end.
5 days and you're like 12 years older.
I don't know. Like once I turn 60, let's just live my life like that and I'm ready.
And you're dead in 5 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you got something there. But anyway, what happens is we drop like a mist from the sky. It says
Mm.
smile. I like that. That felt like very Batman to me. But
Yeah.
then
Yeah. It was
everyone,
like skywriting,
yeah, so then they were like, what? This is like an old thing. So like even in 79, skywriting was like a thing of the past,
which is
according to them.
weird because when I was a kid, skywriting was happening all the time. Maybe it had a resurgence in the 80s.
I think that you might be right. There's a in Full House, Danny proposes to Vicky with skywriting at Disney World, I believe,
There
right?
you
I was
go.
like,
Yeah.
Vicky, will you marry me? So did they ever get married?
I
Vicky,
think
did they
they
call it
did.
off? What happened
I
there? I
don't
don't really
remember.
remember. Vicky and Danny. That's a weird part of the show when Vicky and Danny get together.
Yeah, it's true.
She was nice though. They really needed some like a woman in their life, those girls.
And Danny like needed a woman in his life. I mean, he had been mourning over that dead wife for years at that point. Like, try something else.
You're right. And the girls at least had Becky. They had Aunt
Yeah,
Becky.
that's true.
He didn't have anybody. Well, I guess he had Aunt Becky too, but that didn't really count. But
He
like,
wasn't. Do you think Jesse ever like let him like
no
tonight you can
way.
have Aunt Becky?
Jesse's not the type to do that. Maybe Joey would have done it.
Oh yeah,
Joey
good
had a
point.
girl. But the
Alanis.
do you know how the husband in Fuller House, it's DJ's husband dies? Do you know how he dies?
Stingray through the chest.
No, that was somebody else. A
Mm.
fire. How graphic is that for the like the start of the show? They're like, your dad, he died in a fire.
Was he a firefighter?
He was a firefighter. Yeah,
Wow,
it's pretty crazy.
what a
But
hero.
Danny's wife was just a car crash.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
That's I feel like that's mostly what happens in movies. Like that's the stock death for a
cancer,
spouse. Yeah, yeah,
maybe cancer.
cancer, true. If they
Uh,
wanted to be quick, it was a car crash. If they wanted to be like a drawn out thing, it's cancer.
that's the good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of points in this movie were calling Steve Mr. Rogers,
I noticed
which I
that
thought
too.
was very funny.
Christopher Lee calls him Mr. Rogers 100 times, and it is supposed to sound threatening.
Mr.
But I am
Rogers.
just thinking about Mr. Rogers. Come
Was he
on,
a singer
everyone.
this time? When did
Yes.
I gotta watch? Is that Marielle Heller? Did she do that?
Yeah, yeah.
I think there was a documentary about him too. Or did she do the documentary?
No, she did the film Beautiful Day in
The
the
Tom Hanks
Neighborhood, the
movie?
Tom Hanks movie. The documentary is called Won't You Be My Neighbor, I think.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I
Mm.
gotta watch one of them. I don't know anything about him. I just know he had a
Oh,
show
I
and everyone
loved him
loved
as a
him.
kid, man. You want to hear a fun story about me and Mr. Rogers?
Yeah.
He was I was watching Mr. Rogers as a kid, and he was advertising on the show this new board game based on the Mr. Rogers characters.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mom, I gotta get this game. All
Wow.
right, it's fucking amazing. So my mom, like, she was like, all right, let's go. So she like brought me to Toys R Us or whatever. And apparently the episode I was watching was a rerun. They'd already released the game. It didn't do that well, and it was not being carried in the stores anymore. And so it didn't exist. Can you
What?
imagine that as a kid being advertised a game that you want to play and then being told, no, it doesn't exist?
That was like when the PlayStation 5 came out. They were like, PlayStation 5, get it now. And then you go buy it and they're like, oh yeah, it's sold out. You can't buy it
Yeah,
anymore for like the next
yeah.
year. That's basically how that was. For some reason, they just
Totally.
didn't make enough PlayStations. Like they didn't think they were going to sell out or something. But
Get
yeah,
it
that
together,
sucks.
Sony.
That's terrible. Uh, but what else happened? I thought just a lot of the cool stuff we captured on film was really cool. There's a moment where he goes and he crashes into a dam. I thought that was cool when like I look like we like see the motorcycle like drop in there and we see it like floating in the water. Just like a lot of cool like far away shots where you're seeing everything captured on film. I was very impressed by
Okay.
everything. It's a TV
Wow.
movie. It was very, very cool. Um, and then like some time passes and we give people antidotes to combat
Yeah.
the aging process.
I like the part where they like test the fucking aging thing on a pair of twins.
Yeah.
Like it was like twin babies and it works. And so then they're like, this baby, like they were born twins, but now for the rest of their lives, this baby is gonna be a month and a half older than the other baby. That really captured my imagination.
So they're probably not even raised as twins though, right? I guess they
I think
still look the
you'd
same.
still raise them as twins, yeah, but like one of them would be a lot bigger than the other one.
A lot bigger?
Maybe not a lot, but you could sense the difference.
I mean, definitely in the first few months when one of them's 3 months and one of them's 4 months.
Yeah.
Then you'd like that's a real difference. But like between like 39 and 6 months and 39 and 7 months, I'm not sure.
All right, fair.
But we there's the girl. We drive the motorcycle through a building. I thought that was cool.
Do we?
Yeah, we're like
Oh
driving like in the
yeah.
courtyard through a building. I was way into
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff.
The building, it looked like my high school.
Really?
Yeah. I remember
Okay.
like he drives through this hallway and I was like, that could be my high school.
That's where we kept the trophy case. There was the cafeteria. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then it like sprouts a parachute. I was into that part.
You've brought that up in the previous movie. You like when
I
motorcycles
think I
sprout parachutes.
I think I was looking to this movie. I don't think it happened in the
Oh,
last movie.
okay.
And then we fight Christopher Lee, you know?
Yeah, the problem that's a big problem with both these movies is like the villains are more like nefarious. They can't really hold their own in a fight. So like there's never really a good fight sequence in any of these movies. It's just sort of like if he can get his hands on Christopher Lee, he's gonna fucking pound him to shit.
It's That's actually true. We fixed that in the MCU. A lot of great battles there
Yeah.
with I liked the what was it, the meat locker? I forget which movie that was in, where he like fights the people in the meat locker and then hangs them up in the meat
Oh, that's
locker.
the first one. That is so dumb. And it's like it's the first like power demonstration sequence.
Mm.
So he's just like he's throwing meat at these
He's just like
guys. And like it didn't and the meat's like on like racks. So like it's not like he's even throwing them. He's just sort of like gliding them
and it
to
slides down.
yeah, and it's like
I was into it. It was very
and then
fun.
later on, like a second later, like we're talking to that guy, and he's like, "You have a responsibility now to use your
With great
power
powers.
for the forces of good." And I was like, "What powers? What has he proven at this point?"
Yeah. I guess nothing yet. But I like how he hung them up on the meat thing. They like couldn't move. And then
Yeah.
he like slung them over and they were just hanging there. I like that.
All right.
Crazy we cast this girl, Catherine Justice. I feel like that's a DC thing. Justice.
Victoria Justice.
No, we gotta be cool to get Victoria Justice. But I feel like for her, we should be like, go to the Justice League, Catherine Justice. You're not allowed over here on
Oh
Marvel.
my! I love this.
That would be
Logan's
my
firing
thinking.
on all cylinders. What other great takes do you have?
That's it. That's my only take.
Okay.
Lynn Berman was back, your favorite.
Yep.
Uh,
MVP again.
Again. He was actually good. I don't really know what I knew him from. But I think you got to go Christopher Lee.
Nope.
For me. Miguel. That's just so funny.
Miguel. All right. Who is the LVP of the second one?
Gotta go with Ken Swafford. I don't know.
Ken Swafford.
I didn't want to go William Lucking or Stanley Kamel. I feel like I recognize them a little more.
I
I'm gonna
don't
go
know.
Ken Swafford, who played Everett Bliss. That sounds like a cool
Basically,
name.
everyone except for like the lady, the Whisper Quiet, and Christopher Lee sucked.
You're a real Reb Brown hater.
Well, he sucks.
I thought he was
What do you want
good.
from me? I did not think he was
He's
good.
like big and strong and seems like a noble guy.
A noble guy.
He
All
does.
right.
I thought that's why how he's acting. I don't know him personally if he's doing a good if that's just how he is. I've heard casting is 50% of the performance, you know.
Sure.
If you just cast right, that's half the job. But whatever. I'll agree with whatever you said for the LVP.
All right. Who cares? You want to rank the Captain America movies? Give me your Captain America ranking.
All right, Captain America ranking from what, bottom to top? Last place, I'm gonna go 1979's Captain America. Sixth
Mm-hmm.
place, 1979's Captain America 2, Death Too Soon. Fifth place, 1990's Captain America. Fourth place, Captain America Brave New World. Third place, Captain America The First Avenger. 2, Captain America Civil War. 1, Captain America The Winter Soldier.
Yeah, mine's gonna be similar. All right. So last place, 79, original 1979 Captain America. All right. I'm gonna split them, make second to last place number 6, is that right? The 1991.
Okay.
All right. Number 5, Death Too Soon. Number 4, Brave New World.
I thought you were gonna flip that one into this
I
section
thought
here.
about it, but it seemed dishonest. Number 3, First Avenger. Number 2, Civil War. And number 1, Winter Soldier.
I love it. Great job.
Mhm. Thank you.
There's our Captain America ranking.
We did it. We finally finished Captain America. And next week, we'll be going to jolly old England.
Really? She's in England? She's not English. Why is she in England?
Well, the character is very British, but of course we
Really?
cast an American act. Yeah.
She's British, that character?
Super fucking British.
Oh, that makes
If
me
you've
way
ever
more
read the
excited.
Helen Fielding novels that they're I mean, look at the love interests in these movies. Colin
You're
Firth,
right. How did I not
Grant.
pick up on that?
Yeah.
Is she British? Am I just wrong about this? I feel like I
No,
don't know
Renee
if that's-
Zellweger is American. The character is British.
That is
there was a
awesome.
lot of talk. British people were mad when she was initially cast. Like, British. All right, we're covering Bridget Jones.
It should be Helena Bonham
Bridget
Carter.
Jones is an inherently British character. How could you cast anyone? Why isn't it not Kate Winslet? But they got Renee Zellweger, and I think ultimately people were pretty happy with the performance.
They made 4 of them.
Yeah. So we're gonna do 2 of them next week, 2 of them the following week. Next week will be Bridget Jones's Diary, the original one, based on the book. The second one is the sequel, Bridget Jones, The Edge of Reason.
Okay.
And then the following week we'll cover Bridget Jones's Baby and Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy, which
That's
is
right,
the new
from
one.
this year.
From this year, yeah. I've seen the first 2. I remember thinking the first one was pretty good, thinking the second one was pretty bad. That's why I didn't see the third one. But now people are loving this fourth one. So we're going to catch up. We're going to watch all 4 Bridget Jones films here on the franchise.
Big jump between the second and third one. You don't remember what they thought of the third one? I mean, they must have liked it. They made the fourth one.
I think the third one just sort of like came and went. Like people were fine with it, but like it didn't make much noise. This fourth one is the first time I can remember people really praising a Bridget Jones movie since the first one.
Yeah, I've only heard what you've told me about it. So
yeah,
but apparently people like it, and I'm excited to, especially now that I know she's a British character. That's very fun.
Yeah. All right, so that's coming up on the show. Bridget Jones later in the week. Sorry we're late this week. I was in New York. Thanks for being patient. We've got actually, I don't want to say thanks for being patient because I hate when I'm on the phone and I'm on hold and the little voice says thank you for being patient. A lot of times I'm not feeling very patient,
but you're there.
I'm like, don't presume my patience. Okay.
No.
All right. So
same with the listeners.
Yeah, so thanks.
They could have been fuming
whether you were patient or not. Yeah, and so we'll do the Buffy episode where it's Two Angels. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we've got we're gonna do a little Oscar preview as well. So
Yes. And Daniel
that's
on YouTube, go to our YouTube. Daniel went through his DVD collection.
that's true. I
It
opened
was
up my
very
entire
fun.
DVD
Over 3
collection.
hours of Daniel going through his
I saw
DVD.
you edited it down to 3:15. It took us like 4 hours to do it.
Yeah. Well, some of we took some breaks. Daniel, some wandering around, going to get boxes, finding
Yeah,
extra boxes occasionally.
I know. I
That was
found a couple
crazy.
more DVDs after we
Oh my
stopped doing that.
goodness.
Not many, but like the Star Wars trilogy might be notably missing to
Yeah.
some. I found
Fair. I
that.
think you had some of those DVD or the prequels you had.
I had the prequels. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I
Anyway,
think we should say, by the way, I mean, we're going to save it for tomorrow, but Michelle Trachtenberg passed away yesterday. And
yeah,
it literally ruined my day. I was sad. I
I
cried.
know.
I was very sad.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that more on the Buffy episode, but that was a shock. And Gene Hackman died this morning.
No way.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
That's
terrible.
what I woke up to this morning. Horrible news again. At least he was 95 though. Michelle Trachtenberg was fucking 39. So
We
tragedy.
got to do the conversation or not the conversation. The conversation? Yeah, right. Is that what that movie's called?
That's a Gene Hackman movie.
Yeah, we got to do that.
Maybe we should
Behind Enemy
talk.
Lines? Not behind what's that
Oh,
movie called?
right,
Behind
right.
Enemies
Because Enemy of the State
Enemy of the State.
is kind of a
I
sequel.
was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is that called?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be fun.
Hey, did they ever make a sequel to Ice Princess?
Maybe actually.
Yeah, maybe. Let's look into that.
Yeah, that'd be good. Just honestly horrible.
Harriet the Spy? Did they ever make another Harriet the Spy?
Maybe, but
I don't remember.
they did Road Trip and Euro Trip. We can't do that.
Those aren't connected.
We have one comment here from Olivia Smith. She said, "This film looks terrible. Do you know if your parents watched this on TV when it came out?" Great question.
Great question.
Mine were 10. My parents were
Mhm.
10.
So
It's
they
possible. My
Yeah.
dad watched it.
I will say this. One thing I do not have in common with my parents is neither of them give a fuck about superheroes.
Same.
They never have. Like
Yeah.
my dad didn't read comics growing up. Like they do not care. It frustrates me. Like I could have a great comic book collection through my dad. My dad was like the perfect age when like the Marvel universe started, but he just did not give a shit. So
Yeah.
like they definitely didn't watch this.
Definitely didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't own comics, but if like someone asked my son one day, "Do your dad watch the MCU?" You think he'd be like, "Well, he didn't own comics, so probably not." But I did.
I don't think my dad's ever watched a fucking MCU movie. Like he just does not care. Like he'll I think he's seen like a couple Supermans and Batmans. That's it.
Definitely saw every dad saw Superman and
Yeah.
Batman. But yeah, you gotta show him Raimi Spider-Man. It'll change his life.
I think he watched it and didn't really like it.
You gotta show him Spider-Man 2. That one will for sure do it. When he sees Rosie die. Oh my god.
Rosie?
That's Doc Ock's wife.
Oh yeah.
She get the shard of glass through her eye. Oh my
Jesus
god.
Christ.
Anyway, oh that's it. That's it.
Blood is delicious. Goodbye.